My biological family is dead. I was raised in foster care, and so my friends are my family. I met my late husband in college. He was just raised by his mother, who had abandoned him and later died. No adoptive family. As an adult, I've looked into both trees, and our biological ancestors are, to put it mildly, really dangerous people and or dead. My late husband and older son died in a car crash. My daughter is in kindergarten and she, more accurately me, was supposed to do a family tree project for school. I tried speaking to her teacher that this was not going to be a Pollyanna report, but she is one of those people that can't comprehend that sometimes family is a dark subject, and insisted that it needed to be biological. So, I did it. Some of them, like her father and my son, I have actual information for. Aside from that, they're dead. But for most of my family and her paternal family, I literally only have birth date, death date, when they would have had their kids, and cemetery information, unless they were cremated. It was supposed to have 10 pictures, but most of the pictures I have of any ancestors are just headstones. I made a trip when my husband and I first married to take pictures of the headstones, so I included those in there. I only have 3 pictures total of my biological family, and most of them are group shots where I could only label maybe 3 people. I don't have any pictures of my late husband's family from before me and my kids, but I put some of the old ones in there too. So while the other kids had long family trees, my daughter was basically introducing the concept of death to her kindergarten class. Now I'm getting slammed with calls from other parents, the teacher, and the principal. They're appalled that I allowed such a morbid report and are saying I traumatized their children. I don't think I did anything wrong. They wanted a report on her biological ancestors, I gave it, and kept it G-rated. I just didn't lie that people were alive when they weren't. I don't raise her to think that death is taboo or something to be ashamed of anyway. Death is part of life. Most of her, my family is dead, so talking about family just means talking about death, and it's just something you have to accept. AITA?
NTA. The teacher was highly insensitive. Also insisted it had to be biological. That sounds discriminatory against adopted people. Tell the principal you attempted to address the situation with the teacher and were dismissed, and that she left your daughter with no options if she were going to turn in the assignment. And why are parents calling you? Is there an open phone list? Did you authorize having your contact info shared with other parents?
NTA. How do you do a family tree report and not expect death to be a pretty big topic? By kindergarten at least some of the class is going to have dead grandparents. We do not all live in a happy movie, and let's be real, these are 5 to 6-year-olds. Most of them will have seen a Disney movie by now. Guess what happens in almost every Disney movie? A parent dies. These people need to get over themselves. I'd tell the other parents to take it up with the teacher. Tell the teacher you tried to talk to her but she wanted to Pollyanna her way through your concerns, and tell the principal that your child shouldn't have to hide who she is and where she's come from for the sake of other people's comfort. They assigned this report. This is your kid's family. Are they telling you that you should teach your daughter to lie? Is having dead relatives something to be ashamed of? They are being ridiculous.
NTA. Instead of offering sympathy to your daughter, these people only considered how they felt. Great parenting.
NTA. The concept of life and death is complex for kindergarten-age children. However, you warned the teacher and she was clear about what she expected from the project. Also, malicious compliance might enjoy this story.
NTA. You tried to warn the teacher and she forced your hand. I also find it hard to believe that in a kindergarten class of what? 20+ kids? That only your child has dead relatives? Or a branch or two that just can't be traced?
This is entirely the teacher's responsibility. I used to ask my students to prepare family trees to practice their family vocabulary, ex-Spanish teacher. But I was made aware how hard this might be for some people. Instead I said that if they wanted to, they could perhaps make up their dream family tree, Beyoncé and Ryan Reynolds for mum and dad etc. Or borrow one they already know, e.g. The Simpsons, Royal Family etc. This made a massive difference to students who were in care or had difficult family situations, and it's really not that difficult to incorporate. Even if the teacher didn't do this at the beginning, she definitely should have done it when you spoke instead of doubling down and putting your daughter in a difficult position. Oh, and for the record, dead people exist. Well, even little kids know someone whose granny isn't around anymore. These people are idiots. NTA.
NTA. Dear complainer, I completely agree that this report was inappropriate for kindergarten-age children. This is a fact that I attempted to bring to teacher's attention on date. Despite my objection, teacher insisted that the project must be completed. Please direct any further complaints to teacher, as I have no control over her designation of assignments. Thank you.
NTA. She insisted it be biological, not by adoption. That's horrible. What if a kid was adopted and the bio parents are unknown?
NTA. Sometimes teachers get so excited over a project they turn off their brains. When my son was in 3rd grade, the teacher wanted family trees showing how long families have lived in our suburban, agricultural town. Old farms, new suburbs. I'm a second-generation American. Teacher wanted us to at least go back to great-grandparents. Kind of hard because records were kept differently. But we sat down with my parents and the best we could come up with for their grandparents was a nickname. Or a first name, think the little bub or Grandpa Joe. Teacher actually failed him because we didn't have last names etc. I came back and in a parent-teach conference made her cry. His family tree went up on the wall with everyone else's.